one thing that I noticed when I was coaching high school, trying to find catchers, the biggest thing that I found was guys that are generally the better catchers are the guys that want to catch, the guys that are willing to sell out, mentally tougher kids, right? Catching's a brutal spot. It's the closest thing that I would, having played football and coaching football, it's the closest thing to football.
The guys want to be there.
Exactly, yeah. It's very hard to force a non-catcher into a catching position because pressure situations, runner on third, less than 2 outs, late in the game. If you don't want to block, you're not going to block, right? Even if there's 2 strikes and it's a breaking ball in the dirt, if you don't want to be there, you're not going to be there. So when looking at catchers, trying to find a catcher, we want to find a guy that is totally bought into blocking. So going into blocking, right, the next portion would be your setup. When we have runners on less than 2 strikes, okay, we have to be expecting balls in the dirt, obviously, even if it's a fastball, which is the toughest pitch to block, we have to always be ready for it. And so our setup will allow us to react not only in front, but from side to side. So when I was talking about earlier in our primary, we're trying to be as low as possible. When we're in our secondary, we're gonna be up just a little bit, okay? We're gonna raise our butt just a little bit. Not so much that we're above our knees, right? We don't wanna have the flat back arch that some people have taught. When you're flat back and up, like I said earlier, it makes it very difficult to stay underneath pitches because we still have to present balls. We still want to try and keep stuff in the zone. This is where hip and ankle mobility comes into play. Being able to still stay low but able to react. So we're going to be a little bit wider, not much, just a little bit raised, and then from here. A lot of guys are taught, especially the youth guys, they're taught to replace their knees with their feet. We call it a dolphin kick. We want to eliminate the dolphin kick as much as possible. If you're thinking about where a ball bounces in the dirt, we want to try and get as close as we can to the point of contact with the dirt. Not only does that shorten the distance of anything weird happening, if you're on a weird field, the plate is uneven, the boxes are all screwed up, we want to stay as close as we can to where the ball hits the dirt and when it eventually hits our chest. So from here, we tell all of our kids we're just falling forward. One thing, if you have a kid that's flipping his knees into his feet, it's very loud. It doesn't look very, like I said earlier, athletic, right? We want to have the most athletes as possible, most athletic guys possible back here. So if I were to have a kid that's constantly replacing his feet, doing the dolphin kick, he's generally very high. Not only are you going to get balls ricocheting, kicking off side to side, a lot of the times you'll get 5-hole shots, right? Balls that make it to the backstop because they're in the air, right? They time it wrong, whatever reason happens. So what I would do, set up the machine and just force them forward. All you're doing is just forcing them forward. And what that does, like I said, is it cuts the distance down. It puts us in a good position to block. When